Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how we can use Azure Copilot for troubleshooting Azure Kubernetes Service. Azure Copilot is a AI assistant tool which is available in Azure Portal, but you need to opt into that option. By default it's not enabled. So if you have enabled the Azure Copilot in your portal, you can take Azure Copilot for different troubleshooting for AKS. So in this demo, I will show you how we can create a AKS cluster and use Azure Copilot to troubleshoot different cluster related issues as well as workload related issues as well. In this demo, I will prepare the demo files for you so you can find the bicep for deploying the AKS cluster, and you have some sample applications which will demonstrate different kind of issues or trouble issues that can be happen in AKS cluster, such as out of memory kills like this and image pool errors. Those kind of things are very common issues that we see in AKS clusters in general Kubernetes, right? So we will try to use Azure Copilot to troubleshoot these type of incidents, right? So you will find these demo files in the GitHub. I will include the GitHub repo link into the description. Then you can use deploy.sh file, which is in the root of the folder, to deploy the cluster and the required infrastructure. So let's take a look at how we can deploy it. So basically what you have to do is you have to navigate to the folder, then you need to use the script deploy.sh. Then it will go and check the resource group is already there. If not, it will create the resource group. Then it will deploy the AKS cluster for you. So this will take 5 to 6 minutes. So we will come back after the deployment is completed. As you can see, now the cluster provision is completed. You can see that cluster nodes are visible. So now let's take a look at how we can troubleshoot the AKS cluster in Azure Portal. So additional steps, what you can do is you can deploy the sample applications, that sample examples that have different kind of issues that we can troubleshoot, right? So yeah, we can deploy it now or later, that's fine, but I will do it now. So I will go to the samples folder, then I will run the script deploys deploy sample.sh file. So then it will go and create a namespace, then deploy the applications with different issues, right? So you can see it is you deploy DNS resolution apps, OM kill ports, and those kind of things, right? So we will take a look at how we can do the troubleshooting from the Azure Portal. So let's open up the portal, right? Then you can see that Copilot AKS demo cluster is provisioned as we done previously. So then here you can have the option called Kubernetes Troubleshoot with Copilot. If you run this one, it will run a diagnostic health and resolve any potential cluster issues with Copilot agents, right? You can start from here as well, or you can click the Copilot icon on the top. Then the Copilot will open. After the Copilot is open, you can ask different questions like list the pods in the Kubernetes cluster, like these kind of like common questions you can ask from GitHub Copilot. So what I'll do is I will start with this. When you click troubleshoot, it will run some run commands right inside the cluster using run commands section here, and it will gather the information that the Copilot need for to do the troubleshooting of your cluster. So I will click troubleshoot, right? Then Copilot will start to use an agent, right, and do the troubleshooting for you. So as you can see that it'll do some initial cluster diagnostic for the cluster, right? Then you will see what's going to do. Then it will scope in the AKS diagnostic request. So these kind of things are done from the Copilot agent. So this will take some time. So we'll see when there's a result here. So we'll come back after this diagnostic section is completed. Now you can see that a case cluster diagnostic of Copilot will happening. So you can see that it is collecting different events and identifying, getting some logs from different containers or different workloads like kubectl logs. Then it'll collecting logs from Azure npm and other system related workloads as well. So you can see it is running different commands, right? So to run these commands, actually it is using the run command option in the AKS, right? So if you go to the pod section in the workloads, right, so you can see there are run commands that are on AKS under the AKS command namespace, right? If you refresh, you will see many more commands have already run. So if you go to one of these run completed command pods, right, then if you go to the YAML section, then if you check the container and the command that it has run, you can see it runs the kubectl get node command to get the nodes of the cluster, right? Likewise, if you go to a different command pod, you will see a different command has been run, right? So here you can see it runs kubectl logs to get the logs from the metrics server. Last 200 logs were collected by using this command. So it will do many more diagnostic steps to get a better understanding about the infrastructure and the cluster state. So we can see these different files under the artifact section. So you can see here you can download these events, and if you want to, you can view them as well as a separate window like this, right? Then you can close it as well. Yeah. So it will go to the Copilot section here, so you can see the entire activity and everything here. So here you can see in the activities now, I think Copilot has completed the diagnostic and it has identified few issues, right? So we will see these issues here like IMDb timeouts, was part mount failures, capacity constraint. So these these are coming from the applications that we deployed for to demonstrate the failing applications, right? You can see their support which is not enough memory, because of that it is in pending state, and there are some pods which are in crash loop back off and image pull back off conditions, right? Then it will list down the impact, and it will show you remediation steps as well. So it will show you the next steps that you can follow, right? Okay, now let's have some good idea about the overview, right? So we can use our own prompts for this. So for example, I will go to my folder, the GitHub. Then you can find different prompts for cluster, then for troubleshooting, then network connectivity, scaling and performance, security compliance, and diagnostic and logs, and advanced troubleshooting as well. So what I will do is I will use the network troubleshooting one. Then I will use why can't my DNS resolution app pod cannot connect to the backend service. So I will copy this one, then I will include it in the chat, right? Then Copilot start to work on the prompt. So then it will go and collect pod service descriptions, and it will try to understand the current status. Okay, now you can see the Copilot has finished the troubleshooting. You can see that first it will fetch the logs from the application that are running pod specifically. So if you check the logs, you can see that there's a error coming from backend, right? So then again Copilot will go and see whether there's a service called backend API service. So when you check the available services, you cannot see there's a service there. So obviously the pods trying to connect to a service which are not there in the cluster. So it will suggest you to create a backend service, right? So in the AKS, in the Kubernetes, so the application can connect to the backend. So then these are very important. So we can see it will show you the findings. Then it will say the DNS resolution fail and missing service. There are no service called backend service, right? So the root cause also they are mentioning what's happening. So non-existent backend service is there. Because of that, core DNS cannot provide the cluster IP for the service, right? So the remediation steps also there, so you can see what commands you can run, and then updating the application configuration, then creating a missing service, which is the backend API SVC. Then again we can verify the DNS resolution, then check the DNS health as well. Likewise, it's very helpful, so you can easily get some idea about what's happening around your cluster as well as your workload. If something goes wrong, you can ask from Azure Copilot to troubleshoot for you. So we'll take another prompt, right? So for example, we'll take a look at this CrashLoopBackOff, right? Then if I ask from Copilot to investigate on that, so it's very important when you are asking from Copilot, you have to mention specifically which cluster, which namespace, and which pod you need to work on, because if you have many clusters in the subscription, then Azure Copilot is not aware of it, right? Because of that, it's very important to provide as much as information you can provide for to Copilot, so then Copilot can get a better understanding. Now after few minutes, you can see the Copilot has collect logs from the pod and required additional details. Then it will give you the reasoning behind why it's crash loop backing off. So you can see that it is identified the issue because it cannot find the URL environment database URL environment variable. Because of that, pod is continues to restart. So then it will give you a root cause, then it will provide you the remediation steps as well. So it will ask you to check the deployment configuration, then it will provide the helpful commands that you can run to troubleshoot it on your cluster. Then it will give you the environment variable which is missing, and it will give you the command as well to create the required environment variable as a secret. So it's very helpful on that aspect as well. Then it will show you how to update the deployment, which component you need to upgrade, like if you need to add the environment variable to take it from the Kubernetes secret as well. Then it will show you how to restart the deployment for applying the changes that you've done. Then you can verify the pod state. So it will give you a step by step how you can troubleshoot this one and identify the issue, then how to remediate it as well. So I think it's very helpful for anyone who are working with Kubernetes. GitHub Copilot can help you to resolve some issues that you're facing daily in the AKS clusters. So these are the few prompts I have added, but you can try out all the prompts in the README, as well as you can add your own prompts as well as you like, right? So that's all for this short demo. I hope you have got some idea about using Azure Copilot for troubleshooting the AKS clusters. So we will see you in another video.